All right, so here we are back, and you can change the view on Zoom up in your upper right-hand corner to gallery, and you can see more people, and or you can change it so the person who's speaking is large and everybody else is along the side. So anyway, just wanted to give you that tip for using Zoom. So hopefully you've all had a little break. Yay, we're getting everybody back on here. Love it. We have so many exciting things for this afternoon. So we're going to start with Amy Woodley. And can I just tell you, the best part about this virtual retreat is being able to have all of you on together from wherever you're at. You know, Amy has been part of our team for a long time, but she can never come to our retreats because she lives in Alaska. It's a long ways and it's expensive to come back and forth. We always see her at conference, and it's just so fun to get together. So we are so glad you are here with us, Amy. Let me just tell you a little bit about her. Amy lives in Alaska. I already said that. Last year, she sold $92,000 herself. That is incredible. I've never sold that much ever in my career. And that is, you are in a single year. You're just amazing. You'll also really think she's amazing when I tell you that she has been going to school full time the last, is this the third year, Amy?
This is the final year.
I
So
know,
it
you're
will
almost
be,
done. I know.
it will be the fourth year, yeah.
I have just been so impressed watching her continue to do her business well, but also grow her business and do amazing in her schoolwork. I think you're in marketing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so she just keeps getting better and better because she's taking everything she's learning in college and bringing it to the business. So she's a great mom of two kids, goes to school full time, and still has an extremely successful Pampered Chef career. And she's going to talk to us just a little bit about the cruise, because raise your hand if you want to go on the cruise. Oh, yay, I see lots of hands going up. Cruising is one of the very best ways ever to vacation, and Pampered Chef wants to take us on a vacation. So Amy, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you go for it.
Yeah, so I do live in Alaska, and right now it is 11 below zero, and that's warmer than it's been for the last 2 weeks. And so like I go out with my coat unzipped, that's warm. So it's not usually this cold. We usually get one cold snap a winter. It's usually like 20 degrees, so it's not that bad. But so we are definitely working towards earning the cruise, even though we burn really easily after not being in the sun. But so I also, in addition to going to school and doing Pampered Chef full time, I also work another job as well as a sales rep for a local magazine. So earning a trip when I'm done with school this year is something that I'm not sure if my usual approach is going to work. So I may be asking you guys for some tips. I'll be getting a 9 to 5 real job after the spring. But so I'll just tell you what I've been doing so far, and I'm really hoping that continuing to do it will get me there and get my family there. So basically, I mean, the way I plan as soon as the trip is announced is I always, so I'm a director, but I don't do a ton of recruiting. And I'm the kind of person where I don't count my chickens until the eggs are hatched kind of thing. So I don't rely on recruiting points for earning the trip, which I know that's the easy way to do it for most people is to recruit. But for me, selling is my thing. And I do mostly cooking shows. And so I look at the beginning of the earning period at the overall points needed. And the first thing I do is subtract those paid as points. So just really simple, and then take that and divide by 12 and divide by my show average and know how many parties I need to book. So I go really, really simple in planning because typically that's going to be the easiest way for me to achieve it. And it's not going to get so complicated that I'm going to get overly stressed about it. So I still do recruit and get recruiting points. And to me, those are just icing on the cake. I don't rely on them. And the director points, I know I'm always going to have those sales just from, or get that paid as level just from my sales alone. That's always my goal. So one of the things that helps with that is my show average. I am probably 75 to 80% cooking parties. And then virtual parties are definitely becoming more of part of how I earn the trips. But especially with block parties, that has been a big difference that has increased my sales this past year. Like Pauline mentioned, my overall sales for the year jumped over 20,000 this year from the highest I've ever had. And that was mostly block parties. Over the summer was when I started switching to block parties, and then hit it really hard in October and November. Also doing shows in October and November with averages that were pretty high. I don't know if you have my show average nearby, Pauline, but I think it's 900 somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't have it close by. I'd have to look at
I meant
it.
to pull it up beforehand, but I literally just rolled out of bed. So it's 10:30 here. So those are really the big things, is block parties and increasing your show average, whether it's through virtual parties or through cooking parties. I took Sharon Zellen's Power Tool party, and that has just done phenomenal things for my business. And so I'm hoping to find a secondary one for hosts who have already seen that, and even hosts who have seen it love it so much that they're asking for it again when people book off of their parties. Really showing the power tools is a huge thing. I mean, my show average has always been high, but I've noticed it's gotten even higher. I've done the power tool show 3 times this week, and every single one of those parties were 1,600 or higher.
Wow.
And so it just, and of course with double free product, that's my favorite part, is just watching the host go, I've got what now? $780 in free product. And so just genuinely being excited for your hosts alone is the big thing that I hear people say to me as they're leaving and as I'm leaving. They're like, oh my gosh, you're so excited about the products. And that's what I keep hearing over and over again when people talk to me about my business. And I think, that increases your show average, which in turn will, of course, increase your sales. And so you don't have to do 1 million shows a year. Increasing your show average is the whole working smarter, not harder. So those are the basics. I like to keep it simple. I don't like to do a lot of math.
Very good. Very good, Amy. But what I loved hearing you say is you did the math.
Yeah.
And that's what earning a trip is all about, is making a plan for yourself. I will tell you, I plan completely differently than Amy, because I would never earn trips without recruiting. And so that is the beauty of this, is truly you can look at the trip points, make a plan, say, okay, this is my show average. So this is how many this is how many parties I need, or I'm going to have this many recruits. So this is how many parties I'm going to need based on this much show average. The great thing about it is we used to always do the math ourselves, and now we have the trip calculator. So you can just go in and play around with that, and it really helps you make a plan. So right now I'm going to thank you so much for sharing with us. We really love having you here and love having you share that. Your family's going to have so much fun in Disney. I can't wait to see you there. So Kelly, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce Julie. Julie earned a trip in her very first year of business. That's fabulous. So excited to hear from Julie how you can make a trip happen if you're new, or if you're just thinking, you know what, this is the year I'm going to earn a trip, if you've been around a while. So Kelly, I'll let you introduce her.
Awesome. So Julie joined last fall, and she amazed me right away. Of course, she was a great host. And as a consultant, one of the things that stood out the most to me about her is she was really consistent about making her contacts. And as we've heard on all the calls today, that makes a big difference in your business. And so she started out her business really strong last year. And what impressed me the most about her is she had lots of life things happen last year. She's going to go into that a little bit when she talks to you guys. But one of the things that I was most impressed about with her is she worked through life happening to her last year and still stayed consistent with her business. Had a wonderful amount of sales last year and increased her recruiting efforts. And with a combination of sales and recruiting, she earned the Disney trip in her very first year, full year of doing Pampered Chef. Like I said, I think she started maybe September, end of October last year. And so she promoted to director. She earned the Disney trip, and she is just consistently been super consistent with her business. And so I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that, and I'll turn the time over to her.
Okay. Hi, guys. So like Kelly said, I started September of 2018. And so 2019 was actually my first full year as a consultant. When I found out that we were earning a trip to Disney World, I was like set on fire. And we are big time Disney fans. We try to go all the time just to Disneyland. And my husband, it was his first trip last year since he was a kid, and it was his favorite vacation ever. So it was like on my radar, I'm gonna earn it. I set my mind to it and I hit the ground running. I made a vision board that had all of my goals. I did it by month, so that way if I didn't hit everything exactly the way I had planned, it was gonna change the next month. So I would increase numbers or decrease numbers or however I had to do it, but I was getting to Disney World. And like Kelly said, I did have some pretty major life events going on that were pretty emotional. So I had lost my husband 6 years ago, my first husband 6 years ago, and it was to cancer, and there was this wrongful death thing going on. And so I was wrapping that up. That was super emotional, draining, and everything. And then I also had custody of his daughter, and there was a lot going on with that as well. So I kind of lost a child this last year. And so it was like going through all these emotional steps and then also taking care of business at the same time. But I didn't let those things derail me. I just kept focused, and it actually was a mental break for me to have PC to take my mind off of those things. So I was just like, no, I'm gonna earn this trip. I'm kept to my why, and I just powered through those things. And I had the best sales month ever in May. I want to say it was close to $5,000. So I was super excited about that. And then the great Facebook jail event happened. And I was like, oh, this cannot be happening right now. I'm so close to earning this trip. Like by May, I was more than halfway to earning Disney World. And then June came along and I was like, and again, just powered through it. It's like, okay, if I'm having $200 parties, that just means I need to have like $2,200 parties or whatever it was going to be. I was like, all right, we're going to just have to work through this. So even though all of that happened with Facebook, I still promoted July 1st, and it was very exciting. So of course, promotions equal more points to the trip, although there's a new structure this year, which is pretty exciting. But last year it was more points, and so that was really exciting. And again, I was consistent with contacts, like Kelly said. It was just contacting for recruits, contacting for parties, and just, you know, the 222, I did that consistently as well. And here I am. My family and I were going to Disney World, and we couldn't be more excited about it. And that's all I got for you guys. Thanks.
That is so amazing, you know, and life happens with all of us. I mean, what a great story. And for those of you who were on with us last night, is that just not a perfect example of the courage to work through all those things, consistency? She just kept working. And I'm super impressed that you were able to work through all of that and still earn the trip. And I think that's exactly what it is. It's making a plan and then having the consistency, the courage, the confidence like she said, she just had to reevaluate how she was going to earn it. She had the confidence knowing that she was going to earn it. Determination. I love it. It's so true. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so we had our booking blitz, and you know what I think about this? So booking blitzes, a lot of times you reach out to a lot of people. We've got some great results in, but do you know when the results are really going to come rolling in? Tonight when people get home from work and see them, or excuse me, when they get back from the ski hill, wherever they are on this Saturday, and they see that message, they're going to contact you back and stuff. So sometimes we don't see the results of everything we put out there until later. So Stacy's going to come on live now, and she's going to do some drawings for the prizes. We were going to do 5, but we're just going to do 4. And then what we're going to do is I want you to keep putting your results in the poll. And on Monday, we'll go in and we'll draw another one, because I know we're going to have more results coming in based on the contacts that you are making over lunch. So sometimes it just takes time to get in contact with people. So keep working on that, and we're going to do another prize for this on Monday. But Stacy, I'm going to let you go ahead, and she's been working on getting us some winners. Woo!
I got them. I was working on them while Amy and Julie were talking. So I had 18 people send me text messages with their two-way contacts, and everybody did amazing. Everything was between 2, 17, 24. I mean, they were all over the board. But our two-way contact winner is pretty amazing. She had 68 two-way contacts, 68 responses. I just saw in her message she posted on Facebook, and she did about 147 messages that she sent out via Facebook Messenger, and she got 68 responses. So the winner.
Oh, I was just going to say, wait, did you say her name and I missed it?
No, not yet. It's Denise Roberts.
Yay! Denise, are you on here?
I see her.
Denise, can you mute yourself for just a minute?
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell us a little bit about this, please?
Well, I've never had an issue with contacting. I can do it pretty quick. But I've never gotten responses like this. Most of the time they're maybes and everything, but most of the time I don't get any responses. So I was really surprised. I did the green lighting thing.
Okay.
And so I still have like 79 that haven't responded yet, but I'm hoping.
That is great. So you were looking to see who was already on Facebook, which helps with your response because you're contacting people who are already there. And what kind of message did you send to them?
I sent one of the ones that Kelly posted that said, "Hey, Carol," and then I just changed the name in it with the, I can't remember exactly what it said.
Very good.
But I did
That
that
is
one.
amazing. Way to take advantage of that hour that we gave you to make contacts. And you know what? If this hour didn't work for you, find an hour that does work for you and make those contacts. Okay, Stacy, sorry. We just had to hear how she did that.
Definitely.
All right, Stacy, tell us the other numbers.
Okay.
Or winners, I should say.
Yeah, so the other one, we have 3 more winners. For everybody who booked 1 to 3 parties, I put you in a random number drawing, and the winner for that, we had 7 people in that one, and the winner for that is Cheryl Porras.
Yay! Yay!
And our 4 to 6 parties booked is Audrey Bernard.
Yay!
And then for 7 to 10, we have Lisa Nielsen.
Yay! That's fantastic.
Great job.
Hooray! Oh my gosh, way to go. I'm so excited for you. And like I say, don't stop here. You know, if it's this afternoon, if it's Monday morning, in fact, let's do this. I'll do the other drawing Monday at noon. And that way, if you've got a lot going on this weekend, you can get up first thing Monday morning and work on that. Although I do think that part of the reason we were able to get in contact with people quickly today is because it's Saturday and people are not at work and they're able to communicate. So if you can find time this afternoon to work on that booking blitz some more, that will be fantastic. I mean, Amy, you're in Alaska. You've still got the whole day ahead of you. Our Alaska people, they'll have plenty of time to keep working. Stacy, thank you so much for doing that for us and getting our winners. All right, so I'm super excited that right now we get to hear from Cami Cruz. And, you know, how do you introduce Cami Cruz? Well, let me just tell you a few things about her. First of all, I've known Cami for a long time. At one time, she actually lived in Idaho before she moved. But let me tell you, these stats are quite mind-blowing. Cami is a new National Executive Director. That is so exciting and so amazing. I'm so impressed with her and excited for her. She's worked hard for this promotion, and it's amazing what she has been able to do. She lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and she earned the Circle of Honor for the company. Now, that award is given on the Excellence Year, which is from June 1st to May 31st. The number that I have for you that I'm going to tell you about her sales would just be a yearly sale, yearly total for 2019. Okay, listen to this. In 2019, she sold herself $419,985. I know, yeah, look at all those wows. So she just does an amazing thing. Her team added 819 members to their team in 2019. At the beginning of 2019, she had 4 directors. Now she has 49 directors on her team. Simply amazing. She's just an amazing person. And not only that, so these are all the numbers. But can I just tell you a couple of things personally about Cami that I'm so impressed of? Cami has 5 little kids, twins that are, I don't know, 2 now. I don't know how old her twins are, probably older than that. I just don't realize it because time flies. But I'm just so impressed with her ability to raise a family as well as be so successful in her business. And I will tell you that the one thing that always impresses me about Cami is that she has a system. She knows exactly what she's doing with each of her hosts, with each of her recruits, and that's what she does. So she's going to tell us now some of the best practices that she has to have such a successful business. And we are so grateful to you, Cami. It's so good to see you here, and we are so glad to have you here to share with us. Thank you for taking time out of your very, very busy day to do this for us. Oops, are you on mute still? I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Sometimes her computer has issues and then she just has to restart and then she can make it work.
Okay, thank you.
Pauline, can you unmute her as the host?
That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just going to have her restart and get back on it because it said she was unmuted. Now I can't do anything because she's not on here, but she'll be back. Thank you. I'm not sure who that was telling us, but thank you for updating us.
Do you want me to do drawings right now while we wait?
Yes, while we wait, why don't you go ahead? Okay, so we're behind on doing the prizes. So during lunch, I told Kelly, just go ahead and do the prizes, and then she's just going to announce them. So why don't you go ahead and do that while we are getting Cami back on here.
Okay, we need prize hat on.
Oh, yes, prize hat. I love it.
I had 3 winners for our drawings while Cami's trying to get back on. And I just want to tell you guys what you won as well. So the first winner was the 93rd person to register. And that was Nicole. It's either Piper or Pepper. And she's on Amy Woodley's team. So I don't know if you can ask her or whatever, but that is who won. And you won the boat press set. So that's pretty awesome. And then the next person was the 64th person to register, and that was Kendra Germanson, and she's actually on my team. So way to go, Kendra. And then the last winner, oh, and Kendra won a reusable wine bag. So exciting. And then the next person to win was the 153rd person to register, and it's Jessica Hansen, who is under Kim Bowie. I think she's under one of Kim Bowie's directors. But anyway, that is the third winner. Congratulations.
Yay.
Woo! Mini loaf pan. Oh, and it's from Kim. That's hilarious. All right, congratulations.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Cami, are you back on here?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, yay. They said, someone on your team said, sometime her computer, she just has to restart. So yes, we can hear you now. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Cami. So glad to have you
Sorry
here.
about that. I can talk fast. So yeah, my computer just freaks out sometimes and I never know when the audio is not going to work and then I have to restart it, but sorry.
That's okay.
So,
Thank you. And thanks for joining us.
you're welcome. Thank you for the amazing introduction. I don't deserve all that, but thank you.
Yes, you do.
So you wanted me to speak today on the, like basically I put together like the top 10 practices to have a great virtual business.
Perfect.
So, and we'll, if you guys have time, we can leave time for questions. I know this is team leaders and directors. So a lot of these tips are things that I teach my team. So they may not be as applicable to you guys. You're probably already doing this, but I figured we'll go through them anyway, in case there's, you know, something that you pick up from it. But as Pauline was saying, I love systems, and with as crazy as a life as I have with all the little ones, systems are really important to me. And I've got timers on my phone. Like that's the only way that I can remember to do things. So I have different timers set for different days of the week that say different things. So that's really what helps me to make sure that I'm coaching my host to the best of my ability, because the timers go off and I remember what I'm supposed to be doing that day on that party, whether it's asking the host about the business, whether it's asking the host to get her 3 bookings with sending her the wording, whether it's informing my new hosts and getting them to put a post on their wall to announce their parties coming up, more so for me to know that we're still on than anything, but also for her friends as well. So systems are really, really important for me. And so I encourage my new consultants, like, find, you know, just make your life easier, and you know, that way you're going to be able to give your host all the same attention, and you know, you're giving each host your all, and it makes it look easier for your host as well, and that they might be able to do this as well if you're not always flying by the seat of your pants and scatterbrained all the time, which we all are, but like these little timers help me so I'm not a scatterbrained. So you know, because all hosts want to have a successful party. So nobody wants to sign up to do a party and get $0, right? And it's so sad when we have those parties that don't qualify. And so I think host coaching is just one area that we can always improve in. I know I'm always trying to look for new ways to host coach and have more successful shows. I would rather have $5,000 parties than 10 $500 parties, which is the same, you know, same income, but twice the work. So I love systems. And so I just kind of put down like my top 10 tips to having great virtual parties. So number 10 is to keep your host engaged and excited, as I know you guys all do. And I just really communicate with them in the beginning. It is okay if we don't have any sales on day 1 or day 2 or day 3 or day 4, it's okay, because most of your orders are going to come in at the end. But it seems like so many times that hosts have built up in their mind, if they don't have $1,000 party on day 1, that they're terrible at this and they need to give up. And so I try to encourage them. That is not the case at all. People want to see what we're doing. I run parties that are about 6 days long. And so they want to, like, I want to let them know, like, you're going to have friends that want to see the products that we feature. I do give bonus tickets and stuff like that for early on orders, but I let them know, please don't be if you are not having sales at, you know, for a couple of days. That's totally fine. Because I don't want them to check out. I want them to stay involved and stay excited, because they usually always are at first. And then number 9, create desire with your power tools. That's only going to help the bookings and sales. As you guys know, I don't feature very many items at all that are under $20, maybe a few. They're going to buy those regardless, same as cooking shows. I don't want to waste my time on those little products. I want to create the desire to book, to buy for the products that we really need to explain and show them why they're going to fall in love with those and why they need them in their kitchen. So I really like to maximize my time. They're going to buy the little ones anyway. And I'm kind of sneaky because I like to use other product pictures that I'm not featuring on the party in the thank you pictures. So I have an order that my thank you pictures go in, because that's another way I can feature more items. So like the stainless steel mixing bowls are a thank you picture. I have the set of the 3 micro cookers is another thank you picture, because I'm not going to spend time on the party about those, but I can sneak them in that way as well. And then another one is all like our, wine and, wine accessories. There's the thank you picture with that. So another way to kind of get more of those thank yous. And I also like to have my host do thank yous too, because more of her friends are going to see those when they're posting them. So I ask my host, every time you get an order, please tag them and just Google a cute thank you picture. Because your friends are going to see that, the other hosts in the block party are going to see that, the other guests are going to see that. So they're going to see orders coming in, and that just encourages more people to order. So, and I tell them it just is really nice to do for your guests that are buying anyway. And then number 8 is to really over communicate with your host. Let them know your expectations. Let them know in advance. What I do with my parties is I really encourage them to invite 5 groups of 50 people on day 1. I do mine a little differently. I have them go in there and then have them click the invite next to everybody. And then on day 2, I have them send private messages. For me, I've just found better results that way. So I have them say, and I tell them, I know this is crazy, insane. Thank you for trusting me with this. But when we have you invite 5 groups of 50, you're going to get those 40 members in your group. Now, I'll never say 250, but if you say 5 groups of 50, most of the time people don't do the math. So it doesn't seem as crazy. But I let them know that. I let them know ahead of time. There's going to be a group chat coming starting on Monday. So this is all kind of like the 5 groups of 50 is the day they're inviting. But a couple days beforehand, I give them some information. I just copy and paste it from my other hosts from past weeks that is just explaining how it's going to work, and just letting them know you're going to be in a group chat starting on Monday with the other host. Please do not leave the group because you think it's spam or it's a group chat or anything like that. I'll only post in there once a day, and it's just my little tip for that day and the picture to post, etc. I do a lot of block parties. So I usually have 5 or 6 hosts running in each block party, and I do 3 of them a week. So I do lump all my hosts in that same group chat. So there is a lot of people in there, but I found it works better for me. And I found that it's better for the group as well in the group chat. So I just let them know, like, you're going to be in this group chat. Please keep all conversations and questions directed to me privately instead of in the group chat. But all I want them to be doing in there is their thumbs up as soon as they've read it that day. And so that really keeps the chat down to a minimum in there. And then since I have 3 different block parties running each week, I like to have 2 hosts out of that block party posting a picture that day. So that's what works best for me. So I say, okay, hosts, Sue, Mary, and Beth, please post this picture today with the down arrow or down finger. And on day 1, I let them know, rest assured, you're all in different parties, so you're not going to be posting the same picture. And then I post 1 more picture. Okay, party posters, the second party posters for today, these 3 people post this picture. So that way, even if one host out of that party is MIA that day and doesn't do it, at least there's one kind of fun interactive post happening in the party. So I just kind of communicate, let them know what's happening. If I don't hear from them on day 1 or 2, they don't do their thumbs up, I'm asking them, hey, just wanted to make sure that you saw the group chat. Is it coming through? Want to make sure you have any questions. Please give me your thumbs up. So that way I'm kind of encouraging them along. And I do call them out in the group chat, and like in a good way. So each morning I say, thank you to these people who checked in yesterday and did the task, so I just, because they gave me their thumbs up, so I call them out on it, I brag on them, so that way they know to give me their thumbs up in there, because they know I'm going to be looking for it. And I do give them a free gift for doing that. So day 1 of the group chat, it just says, remember, or if you want a free gift, when you do the quick task each day that I will give you each morning in this chat. I'll add a free gift to your order at the end. Now, all my hosts are going to get that gift anyway, if they're pretty good to work with. If they're terrible to work with, no. But they are all going to get it anyway. But that's just kind of my leverage for doing that. And so, all right. And then number 7 is the booking aspect. So I'm private messaging guests early on in the party. I'm having a lot of interactive posts where they're private messaging me their answer. I'm doing the right post where they're messaging me for an online catalog, and then I will send them the online catalog link, and then I will also do, I'll reply back, hey, you've been awesome so far. What do you think about hosting your own party? So I get a lot of bookings early on just from that message. A lot of my team is like, well, what can I post in the party to get more, bookings? My host is trying to work it, I'm trying to work it, and I tell them, honestly, that personal reach out is where I get most of mine, that private reach out to people. And so I like to do that early on. And I also like to have my host work on those bookings early on. Again, in case they're going to check out, I want to give them that little challenge before they do, before they start getting discouraged. And so those private messages really help. The host, I send them wording that then I tell them, and I do give a $50 gift, whether you do it as their third half price item, or if you, give them $50 gift, however you work it, or you can do free shipping. You can do something little, it doesn't even matter. But I just tell them, hey, I want you to get the most bonuses from your party. I do this in a private message. So if I sent you wording, would you send this out to 10 to 15 people about booking their own party? And so many times I get hosts that are like, great, not every host does it, but most of them do every week. And I've had hosts get bookings from people that weren't even on the party, and guests that had already told me no change their mind when their friend asks them. And so it really is effective. And again, not all of them will get bookings or do it, but it's pretty effective with the ones who are working it. So number 6 is my Fab 4. So I call it Fab 4, and I have a graphic I can post in your guys's Facebook page about it so you can remember these different steps. But I always say, don't leave home without it. Don't do a show without it, because it really is that effective. I'm sure you guys all do something similar, and I know my team, I harp on it all the time. So I know most of my team is doing it, and it really works and always gets more sales in. So basically, the last 2 days of my party, the Fab 4 is I go in and I change the title. First thing, change the title to 2 days left to order. And then I put a post on how close each host is. Now I do, with my block parties, I do post each host, and it's usually in the $200 to $300 range because we still have 2 days left. And that's really only 5 to 6 orders, and totally, totally doable. So I do put a big amount, and I let them know in the group chat. Don't freak out that I put like a large number, but in my experience, if I put a bigger number, it's going to help you get more sales and more rewards. So that's step 2, I put how close they are. Then step 3 is I go in and I tag everybody. I pull up on my phone, the party, I pull up on my computer and Consultants Corner. And I go through and I scroll through the members and I tag the first host name, and then I tag all the guests who haven't ordered yet, so they see how close she is, and then I go block by block. And so each comment's going to have a new host name with all of her friends next to it. And then step 4 is I just tell them, okay, I tagged all your people. Can you send them a message like this or similar today? Because this is going to get you a lot more orders when you take the time to remind them that your party's closing and see if they need anything. And I've given them a heads up the day before on Thursday in my group chat that says, heads up, tomorrow is our second to last day, and this is going to be the step I really need your help on, but I'm going to send you some wording to message the people that I tag for you. Would you send it out to them? So they know this is coming, they know to expect it. Most of them will do that message. So, and then same thing on the last day of the party, I go in there that morning, final day to order, I put another post about how close each host is. I don't tag them again, but I do ask my host to follow up with anybody who didn't get their order and that had said they wanted to order, and I encourage them to also get their 5 outside orders for a prize. So that's really the Fab 4, and it does really, really work well. I've had shows go from very little to huge sales, as I'm sure you guys have seen if you're doing this. All right, and then let's see, my number 5, I really love using a posting service, as I'm sure some of you use, or most of you. So what I do with my 3 block parties is I was getting really discouraged when I had like 15 or 16 individual parties because it was a lot of time to check in on all of those. And so fortunately, thanks to, I think it was Julie Ritter's idea or Sarah Birchfield's idea, thanks to them encouraging me to do the block parties, now I can check in on all of my parties in a few minutes a party in just the 3 parties. So it really, really works well. I can spoil more hosts. I can have more time with my family because it's less parties to follow up on. And I don't dread doing that every day. So I will sit down at the end of the day. I don't check notifications during the day. So yeah, I probably miss stuff on Facebook, but I'm still alive. I'm still in business. It's okay. But I check in at the end of the day and I scroll through, see if there's questions, see if there's comments, play along. But I don't dread it anymore because it's only 3 parties to check in on. And I'm, being able to service so many hosts that way. And I just let them know too, hey, if there's a pressing question, just tag me in it and let me know or something like that. But most of the time they will anyway. They'll say, oh, so-and-so had a question, but that's really helped me is the block party style and just checking in, giving myself permission to check in once a day and I was going crazy trying to follow all the notifications. And I know people that work full time, that can be really, really difficult. Even if you don't work full time, it's really hard to follow up on all those notifications when you have a lot of parties running. So, and I recommend people not using 2 devices at the same time because I think it triggers Facebook as well. And so let's see, number 4 is my timers. I did talk about those already, just making sure that you're doing the same steps every time and everybody's schedule of what you do and the steps you do it is going to look different. But as long as if you're able to write down your steps that you do things in, then it's going to make your life easier and you're going to be a better coach for your host and you're going to get more recommendations because you appear to be more organized, more put together and everything, even if it just looks like that on the outside, like for me. So then number 3 is your wording and your text replacement. I just have a Word on my computer. I have like the little notes thing, or you can use a Word document that has just all the wording that you use during the week. And so it has all my wording that I use that I send to my hosts in the pre-setup days. It's got my wording that says, hey, so you were great this week. What do you think about turning this into your own business? And I'll give you the bookings and you can use, get our kit on sale. So I just have all that same wording so I can just copy and paste it and it's a lot easier. And I also am a big fan of text replacement. Anybody use text replacement on the call? Anybody? Yes.
I do.
Best thing ever. So I know for sure on iPhones it works. I'm not sure about the other devices, but I think there's some other programs you can do with that. But love text replacement. So everything that I found that I was sending out a lot to my host and my guests, I have just turned it into text replacement. So I do mine with a hashtag in front. So it's like hashtag TY is my thank you message that I send out to all my guests as soon as they've ordered. Hashtag BKG for booking is as soon as they book a party, this is what to expect. This is what to do. And so it's just made my life so much easier. So love that instead of having to always, and then I can do it out and about and I don't have to always be at home to find where that paragraph was because a lot of those things I just have and do a text replacement. Even their show link, I just have a text replacement for www and I type that in, it's going to pull up amberjeff.com/party/ and then I can just fill in the host name at the end. So I also delete the numbers off the end of the host links. They don't need that. It's just too confusing to remember. So and then number 2, I do my daily thank yous. Like I talked about at the end of the day, I'll sit down and I'll just tag in one post everybody who ordered that day. And then I just, and I do say in my little message to them, thank you so much for ordering. Our show is open until Sunday in case you see anything else that you can't live without because I'm not on direct ship. And so you can add it, no extra shipping. And then I include a little recipe that directs them back to my website. And I do let them know in case you need anything in the future. I've always got shows running. Just message me for a link and we can add it on there and it helps the host and it saves you a little bit on shipping. So I put that in there. And then the first, number 1 tip is, let's see here. Just again, actually, I should probably change that because I already kind of covered that. So let me see here. Let's see. Oh, I kind of covered that already, but just asking early for bookings. So you can just kind of make it my top 9 tips. But I really think asking early for bookings is the way to go with that. And just making sure that you're asking people and not just relying on the booking post itself, because that's great if people see it. But lately I've been seeing that people, and I don't know if you guys have seen this too, but if you have a YouTube link in there in one of the posts, it seems like it's not getting as many views at all. Like I'll have like 200 members in a group and it'll have like 12 views on that one post. And so I don't know if it's only people I'm friends with. I haven't figured that out yet, but like if there's a YouTube link in a post of mine, it's real. I need to like go back in there and look at those because they're not getting as many views. But all right. So any questions? Was there anything else you wanted me to cover, Pauline?
That was fantastic. Oh my gosh, I couldn't write fast enough. I'm like, okay, I have to definitely go back and listen to this. Okay, so one question that I have, tell me how you do your, do you do any lives or videos, anything like that in your shows, or is it mostly just posts?
So I do a couple videos, and I've got my kids on a couple videos. I've got like a little welcome video in the beginning, but then I also, just because I never know like when I'm going to be able to shower, and like having a live, like I don't want to look like crazy and like a hot mess. And so I just figure like, okay, if I can do one live a week, I know that on Fridays I can look presentable. And so on Fridays I do put, and I learned this from Katie Rupert, and she put in her, I do the nosy question game, but I used to always go in there and type all the answers. And so now that what I learned from her that works really well is I say, post your questions here. On Friday, I'll go live and I'll answer all of them. And hey, when we get 10, I'll do an extra drawing. And so on Fridays, I go live, I answer those questions. I have my same little spiel, and it just works really, really, really well. And so that's the only time that I'm going live on there. At this point in my life, that's all I can handle, is just that one. And it's just a couple minute live on each party, but I feel that, you know, at the end of the week, hopefully more people, that gives more time to, you know, ask a lot of questions, and then hopefully people are seeing it. So, but
Very
yeah,
good.
the question game is just, yeah, where they ask questions about the business is what the post is on that one.
Excellent. I love that. So the videos that you have, those are videos you're putting in your shows, but they're videos of you that you've made.
Yes.
Perfect. I think that's fantastic.
Pauline,
Okay.
two clarification questions for Cami. Cami, I know you said you do your partner with your host to have her send the messages for bookings early. What day do you actually do that? Like once your show starts?
Yeah, so I start my shows really like the first real day is Sunday. There's a couple posts on Saturday when people are adding their friends, but Sunday, and then so like on Monday, I'm sending that to her.
Okay.
So
And
just
then,
a couple days in.
yeah, just a couple days in. And then the other one I had was the thank you. You said you post a general one per day. Are you also sending a thank you individually to that person, or is that the only thank you you do?
Yes, so I do the main post, and then I will message them from my business page with that little like, you know, thank you, here's your recipe. And in my thank you post it says, you know, I sent you, thanks to those people, I sent you a private message with the yummy recipe, you know, did it come through? And so people are looking for it, and then they'll post in there, because if they haven't commented on anything in the party, I can't message them. So then they're looking and they'll post in there, which is what I want them to do, so then I can message them.
Very good. So that's a great trick, because you want people to post in your party so you can message them from your business page. Great, great tip. All right. Who else has questions for Cami? You'll have to unmute yourself down in the bottom left.
Cami, I couldn't write fast enough. Can you
okay.
post your notes for us?
So I can type them up. These are just chicken scratch notes, and so you wouldn't be able to read them, but I can definitely type something up for sure.
I know the other thing is we're going to post the recordings of these so you can go back and listen to it again. And then I'll make sure that we post her Fab 4 picture and an explanation of that. I actually think I may have that, but if I don't, Cami, I'll check with you. Or you can just post it in there because it's probably easier for you, and I saw that you were in
Yeah,
that
I'll just
group.
post it in there.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for offering to share that with us. It's such good tips for us. All right. Does anyone else have a question for Cami?
Quick question. I drive a truck, and so crazy schedule is like having 5 kids under 5 years old kind of thing. Block parties, do they really work? That's my question.
That's your question. So Fab 4 is already posted in there, just so I didn't forget to do it. Block parties, I've been doing them since July 1st, since the whole month of Facebook jail in June, and I switched to block parties because I wanted to still be able to do my volume and not get put in jail anymore. And I have had great sales with them, and I've done block parties ever since, you know, July 1st, and I don't ever want to switch back.
But my other question is I like have regular consultants or regular hosts, and then like truck drivers. We're always looking for quick, easy meals. Would that work? That's where I get my hardest part at, I guess. of wanting to do a block party?
Yeah, so I think that just depends on what recipes you're featuring in there. But yeah, I mean, it's no different. It's my same exact template. It's just more hosts in there, which I think gets more views because there's more activity going on in the group, and it's a lot more fun because it's not crickets. And then if you do have a dud host, it kind of helps, helps them along because their friends are still seeing stuff when they've only added a few people,
Love it.
Thanks,
Thank you
Cami.
so much. Thank you, Cami, for sharing about the block party. All right, everybody, let's put our hands together for Cami. So awesome. I know everybody's on mute, but at least you can see it. Thank you so much for jumping in and sharing with us.
Welcome.
You are awesome. And
Thank you for offering.
congratulations on your promotion. I'm very, very happy for you. You deserve it.
Oh, thank you so much. My team worked really hard. They're so amazing.
Great job. Way to go. Your team is amazing. You absolutely said that right. Okay, so now moving on. Oh my gosh, so many great things to hear today and great ideas. We're going to hear from Kelly Church next. Now, Kelly, let me just tell you, she's coming to us from Mesa, Arizona, and her career sales are over 850,000. So she's getting really close. She's sneaking up on that $1 million mark. I love it. She's only 7 recruits away from the 200 career recruit also. So she's getting really close to having 200 career recruits. And the thing I love about Kelly, some of you might not know that she adopted some kids last year. Has it been 2 years now, Kelly? You're on mute.
It's been 4.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So time flies. It's been a while, but she doubled her family in size and hardly skipped a beat. I mean, she really is an amazing mom and also leader in Pampered Chef. She's going to share with us a really fun new idea. New ideas being that creative, the C from last night, the creative thinking. There's so many different ways that you can do this business now. And Kelly has had some great success with the 15-minute virtual party. And so we wanted to throw that out there as another idea of a way you can do this business. So Kelly, take it away.
Okay, guys, so this is going to be short and sweet. So we have enough time to get back on track. Cami was so wonderful. I'm like, hey, I'll cut mine if we need to Cami.
We're good.
Seriously. Okay, so the 15-minute virtual show is kind of a newer idea that's been generating the last couple months. And me and my team have given it a try, and it's great for multiple reasons. And I'll post my notes in there too, but just so you guys can write down a couple things if you want to right now. Number 1, it's really fast. It's a fast show for hosts that don't have time to check into a virtual party each week or each day of the week. So our normal ones that run anywhere from 5 to 7 days, if they don't have time to check in each day, this is a great option for them because it's 15 minutes from start to finish. It's also wonderful for hosts that don't have a lot of Facebook friends. Like Cami says, 5 groups of 50. If we encourage our hosts to invite between 1 and 200 people and you have a host that only has 40 friends, this is a great option for them. It's also awesome for customers that don't have Facebook. You can start a group chat and do the 15-minute virtual show in a group chat as well as a Facebook group. So it's good for either one of those ways, those options. The last one is it's an incredible way to get new consultants active quickly. So if you have someone that is working on promoting to team leader, promoting to director, and they sign a new recruit with a week left of the month, you might not have time to do a 5 to 7 day virtual party like you normally do. But you can do a 15-minute virtual party with them in a day or two and help them run it and get them active quickly. And it can help a director promote or a team leader promote if they're working on a promotion fast. So think about this. Most of my parties that I've done with this, and I know other people have had higher sales, but my team and I that I've helped run, they've been anywhere between $200 and $300 so far, which doesn't sound like a lot, but think about this. You can do 2 15-minute shows in one day. You can schedule them 30 minutes apart. You don't have any check-ins to do that week. And if you have just barely the 200 in sales from 2 parties a week, you'll be selling $1,600 a month. If you do 2 15-minute virtual parties each week for 4 weeks in a row, that's $1,600 in sales a month. These are not the only types of shows that I do. These are in addition to the regular virtual shows that I'm doing. So it can be great add-on sales if you're working on a promotion like promoting to director, or if you're working on a sales promotion like the free-for-alls. If you do 2 days worth of 2 15-minute shows, that's earning $800 a week, which would be $3,200 a month. That's if you have the bare minimum 200 in sales, and I've never had anyone not at least hit 200. So these little shows can add up quickly, and it's not very much time for you to do because they're only 15 minutes. Not a lot of follow-up, not a lot of check-in. So they can be a great option. So here are some 15-minute virtual show tips. Number 1, your host only adds people in the group that say yes to being added. Why is that? Because for virtual shows, we just have them add people in the group and invite them. When you start your posting for the 15-minute virtual show, you don't want people leaving the group. So this is different from a regular virtual where you're just adding people that say yes to being added. Number 2, your host starts the group on Facebook if it's a Facebook group because she's friends with everyone. So it's really easy for her to start the group chat. And you can just walk her through it. I've walked a couple hosts through it that didn't know how to do it. It's super easy. It took 5 minutes on the phone.
Hey, Kelly, can I make one clarification here?
Absolutely.
So this is all done on Facebook chat. So on messenger chat.
Not setting up a group in Facebook, a regular group for a regular virtual show. This is a group chat message in Facebook Messenger. Good clarification. Or a regular group message on text, because you don't have to just use this for Facebook. Third tip is you keep it to 10 product posts only. You can change this up depending on the season. You can change it up depending on the first of the year. You could do a healthy in a hurry theme for January. It doesn't matter, but you keep it to 10 product posts only. Fourth is when you have one group chat on Facebook already, it's super easy to forward the message to your next group. And once you forward to something, that will pop up at the beginning of your messages when you forward the next one. So once you have a group already set, it's super easy to do the second one or the one in a couple of days if you're working on 4 a week. Fifth is you only keep the show open anywhere from 1 to 3 days, depending on your time frame that you're working with. So they're short and sweet. They're not open a week long like our normal, virtual shows are. So if you need to get a couple in before a vacation or before, a crazy work week for you, you can get a couple in. They're not open very long. And my last tip is I would suggest to do them on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on how many days you're going to leave it open, because then it'll be more likely to hit a payday, which most paydays for people are around Friday if they're not on the 1st and 15th schedule. So scheduling them those days works really well because you're hitting it over a payday for your close date. The last question I might have is, how do I get access to a 15-minute virtual show outline? And Sarah Birchfield on our team worked really hard for our team's 15-minute show outline, because we, of course, don't want to use the same outline over and over again for Facebook Gel. So she worked really hard for our team, and our team is using that outline. What I'll do is I'll post her example of the outline in our director team page, and then the directors can change up the outline and then post to their teams. That way, there's no chance that our team's outline will get used over and over again. So I'll ask the directors to take a I swear, and you guys can use the I swear I'll change up the outline and change up the pictures, and I'll post Sarah's in our director chat, and then your director can then change the outline and post to their team. That way, everyone's 15-minute outlines are slightly different. So anyway, we can open it up for questions, but you guys can post questions in the group chat, and then we can move on to Ina and her texting party tips.
Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and go to Ina with her texting party tips, because it's similar but different than the 15-minute party that Kelly just talked about. And so Ina, I did this last year. We had a wedding in our house last year, and the month before the wedding, it was just crazy. I had a live show early, and then I needed some more sales. And I remembered Ina had said this, so I did 3 texting parties, and I ended up with about, I think it was about $1,400 between the 3 of them. It was simple, it was fast, my friends loved it, and it just turned out so great. So let me tell you just a brief little bit about Ina. She's been in Pampered Chef almost as long as I have. I've known her a very, very long time. She lives in Roy, Utah. She started her business in 1995. And the thing I love about Ina, if I have a tech question, I know I can always reach her in the middle of the day with my technical questions, and she's really good at them. And the other thing I love about her is she is so much a creative thinker. And so because I think that's why she was so good at putting together this text party, is because she knows the technology and she's creative. And it just kind of all came together in this. And if you don't believe she's creative, go to her Facebook page and look at her quilts. Amazing quilter. Can I just say they are absolutely stunning quilts. So Ina, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you just a few things about doing texting parties. A lot of them Kelly has already told you, and one is that it is for someone who doesn't have a lot of Facebook people, but would want to invite people like through texting or that, or they don't want to open up their home to allow people into it. So the thing I like about the posting parties too is that you can post pictures, you can post comments, you can post graphics, you can do GIFs, you know, the GIFs, you can do emojis, you can do live links, you can do a game. I encourage you to just do the game for that one day and end it that day. And there's no Facebook jail, because everything would be unique to you. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. So I'm going to, so how I kind of set mine up is I did 2 to 3 texts all at once. So I would, you know, so like usually you're only doing like one post on Facebook at a time. I would do 2 or 3 texts at one time. And I did that like maybe 3 or 4 times a day, just to make it really simple for me. Okay. Coaching your host is really important, just like it is with any kind of show you do. And so I'm going to share my screen, and okay, we're going to start with this. This is my texting outline. Okay. So what I did is I gave each day a different color. That helped me to keep on track, know where I was at, what I did. Okay. And then I would have different colors in the day for things like the guest special, recruiting, you know, those kind of things, so that it helped me to remember, oh yeah, this is about this, to do it. The one thing I like about setting your day up like this and doing a party like this is that I have 5 days here. Well, I could have 10 different days that have different themes, and I could put that all together and have it on and just poll and decide which days I'm actually going to put and to use in that one party to do with. So, and then I put everything on a Google Doc, and this is my invitation. One of the tips that I really like about this I'm going to share with you is that it's this section tells them what they're going to be doing, so they can say yes, they want to, or no, they don't want to. And this is just a graphic that I give to my host that they text out or message out to who they want to have join their party. And this one is, if you already know what you want, I'll send you the shopping link, and you can jump in and order, and it'll be shipped directly to your door. I'm on direct ship, so that's why that's in mine. What I like about this is you're right up ahead, right at the get-go, you're assuming the sell, that they're going to want to order something, whether they want to stay on your party or if they want to just go order. So that helps to get those in. And also, if they do that and they get that message back at the end of their party, they now have a list of people who are wanting to, who they get the link to order, you know, from the get-go, and they can, then they can just check back with them if they haven't seen those orders come in on their host dashboard. And so it was really great. So we had a show that went from like a $200 show, when she started checking back with those people on the, you know, had the shopping link list. And we went to like a $600 show. So that was just, you know, really good for that. And that gal, she actually signed up, who did that. Okay, and I just wanted to show you how I this is the beginning of it, and this is how the party goes through. So one of the things that I did also when I was setting up, I did all of these in Canva. You're going to put the picture and your words in one post, or one picture, one graphic. And I liked having a little motif like this that you could actually, you know, make it your own. You'll see the same thing in every different post. But what I liked about this is that Facebook doesn't recognize any of these words and doesn't recognize this graph. All it recognizes is this picture altogether, making it totally unique to me, okay? And so that's one of the things that I really liked and what made it kind of easy about this. You can go through, that's the day, here's this next day, tells them what we're doing. So this is what I set up together. And so it made it really easy because I can get this Google Doc on my phone and I can post that. When my alarm goes off, I know what to post. I know where I'm at. And it's really easy just to copy, and paste, and I'm done with it. The thing too to remember is that this is kind of like doing an event in that everything comes in order. So like you put your post, if they do their comments, they're going to just come, you know, in order, just as if you're doing a text message or whatever message. So it's not like a group where if they comment on it, if, you know, throws it back up to the top of the group. So you can keep everything in line, you know, and to do that. So that was mine. It has, you know, some really good success. It's something easy. It does take a little bit to, you know, put it together. But, you know, for example, this graphic is one I can always use. I don't have to change it at all. And so I can use it again whenever I want to change up and do the show and add it in for like a new season that's coming in or whatever. So, okay. That is
very good. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ina. That was fantastic.
You're welcome.
When I did my texting shows, I texted, excuse me, I had the host send out the invitations, but instead of doing a few during the day, I picked about 3 or 4 of those, and I just sent them consecutively at night at 8 o'clock at night. They got one text, boom, 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 with 3 or 4 pictures in it. And I did that for 3 days, and then it was over. So, you know,
but you can't do it so it's not all during that same day. You can do it like, we're going to do this at night so nobody's working or whatever in a time frame. So there's lots of ways you can set it up. I like having lots of different types of shows in my arsenal so that when I'm talking with a host or somebody, I know what to offer if a traditional like Facebook show or a cooking show does not work for them, then I have other choices.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And you can see her creativity on her beautiful, beautiful pictures. All right. Next, I am so excited. Oh my gosh, when we were able to have Stacia fit into our schedule, I was so happy. So Stacia works at the home office, and I don't know a lot about her except for I do know her enthusiasm and her excitement for the business is contagious. When you see her and when you interact with her, she's so bubbly and so excited about everything Pampered Chef. And so I'm so happy to have Stacia here with us. Stacia, oh yay, there you are. Thank you so much for joining our virtual retreat, first ever and not our last. It's been so much fun. So we're super happy to have you here, and I'll just let you take it from here.
That was perfect timing. So I have to say, first of all, thank you for having me and for being willing to accommodate my schedule. My daughter had a gymnastics meet this morning, so I couldn't be with you guys to kick things off. And I literally just walked in the door, opened my laptop because it ran long, and she's at awards still, but I'm here and I am so blessed and so grateful to be here with you guys. So thank you for having me. I am really, really excited. Pauline and Jennifer asked me just to share a little bit about what's happening from home office, and we have so much that we are thrilled and just beyond excited. First of all, I have to brag on all of you because you guys have done amazing work in 2019, and I know that is just going to continue moving into 2020. So First and foremost, congratulations and thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for every time you shared the opportunity with someone, for every party you held, every host you coached, and every order you placed. From all of us at home office, we are grateful for every single one of you and all of the effort that you put into driving your business day in and day out. So I really want to kick things off by reiterating that we believe in you and we believe in our future at Pampered Chef. We believe that every tomorrow has the potential to be better than today. Every mealtime has the potential to enrich lives, and you guys are a huge part of that. Every day you've got a new opportunity to make memories, make a difference, and to make a change, whether it's with an individual, within a family, or in your own family. You can do that. You transform everyday moments. And remember, just like our theme at National Conference, you own your tomorrow. And we are so focused on that at home office. We're focused on owning the tomorrow of each and every one of our lives and of helping each one of you make that commitment and succeed in making that commitment with your own lives in your business as well. So I'm really excited because we have 3 big things that I'm excited to share that are our vision and what we're primarily focused on at home office through 2020. And the first is the field. We are just in love with each one of you and so excited to come behind you and support you to help you build your teams, build your organizations, increase your productivity, and help you develop the leader within you and to develop leaders within your own team. Secondly, we are strategically working to continue to build our brand. We're working to leverage our value proposition to revitalize the Pampered Chef brand, to attract, to captivate, and to retain the wonderful people that you impact every single day. This is our next generation of consultants and customers, and we're working hard as a brand to bring them in, to attract them for you on behalf of you, and to help you become more attractive as you offer the business opportunity, the hosting opportunity, and of course, our amazing products as well. And lastly, we are committed to helping you continue to grow and innovate by providing new and amazing solutions. We work really hard, and I say we, but I'm really speaking on behalf of the product team, works really hard to curate a portfolio of high quality, very distinctive solutions that are worth paying more for and make the cooking and sharing process simpler, faster, and healthier, aligning with the brand and supporting each one of you in your success. And really, that's what Doris founded our company on, and we are not moving away from that. So in 2020, we're really focused on being a field-centered business. We're working hard to create the best possible experience in all aspects of the business. And those of you leaders who were on the Nationwide Leader Call earlier this week, you heard a little bit about some pilots that we're doing and some really fun things that our experienced team and now our field innovation team is trying out, and things that we're working on to help you improve and offer a new and fun and exciting experience to continue to evolve the portfolio of options that you have to offer all of your potential hosts. We do this in order to attract, to retain, and develop excited consultants and strong field leaders like every one of you. And that is how we grow as a company. So that is a huge focus for us in 2020. It's our job to develop products and programs, but you guys are the ones who make it happen. You guys are our greatest asset. We wouldn't be who we are today or where we are today without each and every one of you. Now, to help all of you grow in your business, we have done a lot of work really in the last 6 months and rolled out a lot of new improvements, such as our new consultant support. How many of you have been into Dash or are really starting to own Dash and really getting in there yourself and really becoming a student of the business again? Anybody? Show of hands? Yes. Isn't it awesome? Such a fantastic tool. And I can tell you on behalf of the field training team, so much blood, sweat, tears, and energy goes into that day in and day out. And just because it's launched doesn't mean we stop. We update Dash daily to make sure that your new consultants are getting the best of the best in training that's pertinent to them and going to get them off the ground in the strongest way. From a new consultant's first minute with Pampered Chef, they experience this friendly, game-like, but personalized learning experience. They get these actionable to-dos and learning activities that are really customized and tailored. That's why no new consultant's experience is the same. And personally, that's one of my favorite attributes of Dash, is that everybody gets exactly what they need right when they need it. And I know that can be challenging to a leader who wants to be in the know and wants to know exactly what their new consultants are seeing. But I want to encourage you to rest assured that we have your back in this and that we are supporting your new consultants and allowing you to be the coach and taking some of that training burden away from them. So let's talk kits since we've talked about Dash and new consultants. How excited are you guys about this blender kit? What's some of your feedback? I would love, yes, Pauline's given like raising the roof 10s. Anybody want to share any feedback? We're at the 11th of the month. Anything you want to share about that blender kit? I know we're really pumped in the office about it. Any feedback? Okay. Well, it's all good. We know it's a great kit. It's something really fun that we're trying something new to be able to, kind of like when we introduced the quick cooker, to give you yet another option. And one of the things that I think is super cool about this kit is that we didn't replace one of our other kits. You still have our regular 3 kits that you can always offer. And this one is just a little extra that you can use for somebody who maybe was a great host and they didn't get that blender. They hosted back in the fall or maybe back in the spring of last year before that blender came out, and they've been toying with the idea. It's just another wonderful option for you to offer and to help make sharing the opportunity easier for you. And we've got a few of these little tricks up our sleeve that you'll see all throughout 2020. This is certainly the first of many great things coming for all of you to help you boost your business, share the opportunity, and to book more parties in 2020 because, hey, it's our 40th anniversary year, so why not pull out all the stops? Now, they don't tell me a lot of these things for a really good reason, because when I get going, I love to share and I kind of sometimes spill beans. So I can't even tell you what's coming throughout the year. I know there are some good things coming, and we're all at home office so excited just to watch you take these different promotions and incentives, implement them into your business, and continue to build and grow. So let's talk about Fast Track Rewards. Do you guys have any questions? I know Fast Track Rewards really changed quite significantly back in August when we rolled this new rewards program out. I'd love to take a minute or two if you've got any questions about the new Fast Track Rewards, because we are seeing tremendous success rates that we've never seen with our new consultants utilizing these Fast Track Rewards and earning these new Fast Track Rewards. Any questions? I'll pop in the chat here really quickly. Nope. Okay, cool. I just thought I would ask while I was here. Just to give you a little overview of Fast Track Rewards, remember, for those of you who are maybe newer, new consultants who promote to director will earn $500 cash when they promote in their first 90 days. They will earn $500 cash when they maintain their director title for 3 months following. They'll earn $1,000 cash when they promote to advanced director in their first 6 months. Now, some of you guys are going, no way, Stacia, that's crazy. Like, that seems like a lot. It is happening. It's happening more than it's ever happened, and it's doable. So don't be afraid to put it out there and to offer this to your new consultants. Remember, I think my best piece of advice that I can give you surrounding Fast Track Rewards is let the new consultant decide if it's right for them. Don't you be the one to make that decision for them. And I know I was guilty of this as a consultant too. We think, oh gosh, I don't want to push, or that sounds like so much as a new consultant. Let's let them make that decision. When we let them make that decision, the sky is truly the limit. And who are we to put a limitation on their success and their desires and dreams? So that cash is out there to be earned. They'll earn another $1,000 when they maintain that advanced director title for 3 months following. And of course, all of our new consultants earn $100 cash, not PC dollars, cash, for every new consultant they recruit during their first 90 days, who then qualifies in their first 90 days. And don't forget, guys, for you, the recruiter, there is a mega enhanced reward here for you too. You get 50 PC dollars when your new consultant qualifies. You're going to earn $500 cash when they promote to director in their first 90 days. And friends, I work super closely with directors, and we are seeing our Fast Track directors continue to skyrocket in success, and they are becoming strong leaders. Don't shy away from this opportunity in this program. You, as the recruiter, will earn another $500 cash when they maintain their director title for 3 months. You'll earn $1,000 cash when they promote to advanced director in their first 6 months, and an additional $1,000 cash when they maintain that advanced director title for 3 months. So I want to know from you guys, how many of you have a goal to promote at least, or to help one person promote to director this year? At least one person. How many of you think you're going to help somebody fast track this year? Yes. How about fast track to advanced director? That money sounds amazing. Yes, absolutely. There's no reason we can't help 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people this year do just that. We've got the support tools in Dash now to help them become strong new consultants quickly, and you are all leaders that will help them develop their leadership skills and promote to director and have the same success that you have had. So let me close my time with you today by just talking about some of our new support programs, because clearly that's my passion, that's my love. We've got our new consultant onboarding in Dash. We are also rolling out a new Lead the Way, a new Lead Plus, and a new Executive Bound, all which have kicked off in the last 2 weeks. So just to give you a little refresher, Lead the Way is your program for all directors. Every director is eligible to participate in these training webinars once a month, led by Erica Henderson and Catherine Kamhout, my fellow peers in field development at Pampered Chef. Now, Noelle Delgrand and I are partnering in Lead Plus. This is for our advanced directors who have 2 or fewer directors on their team. And then we've got Executive Bound, which is for those advanced and senior directors who have at least 3 directors in their organization as well. Don't forget our other support programs like Empower 2020. We announced some little snippets that are coming at Empower in April. And if you're not an advanced director yet, make it your goal to promote by March 1st so that you can come to Empower, because we are rolling out a new director leadership program and some really exciting stuff that I do know about because I'm on the core team working on this project. And you guys, it's going to be a game changer. If you thought Dash for New Consultants was mind-blowing and really took your business up to a new level in support for your new consultants, just wait until you see what we've got in store for directors that we're going to roll out, and you guys are going to be the first to see at Empower. You do not want to miss it. Don't forget, there's national conference. We've got our monthly nationwide leader calls. We've got our monthly spotlight training, which is coming up this Monday. If you're a director, it will be at noon Central Time. Sharon Zellen's going to be on, and let me just tell you, she has some amazing tips to share. And we have new and simplified and improved Consultants Corner, and just wait until you see the changes that are being made to party packs and to marketing imagery to make your party outlines so much simpler for your virtual parties. I'm so proud of my friends at home office, our marketing teams, our field teams, our IT teams, and the things that they've got up their sleeves and rolling out for you this year. So, Pauline, I have filled my 15 minutes. And I don't want to go over. I want to respect your time. So if you'd like me to take questions, I will. If you want to kick me out, that's totally fine too. And if there's anything else you want to ask, now's your time.
Perfect. So thank you so much. And I actually think we'll keep rolling, but I did see that you joined our virtual retreat group. So I'm going to let them, what I encouraged them earlier today is if they have questions for you to just find where we did your bio on there and ask your questions there. And I'll alert you if I see anything there that they need to answer.
Sounds great. And if you want to shoot me a friend request, if we aren't already connected, and send me a direct message on Facebook, I am always open to that communication as well.
Perfect. Thanks
for having me, everyone.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for sharing your exciting and all.
My pleasure.
So many wonderful things for us. Thank you so much. I'm always amazed after 26 years, it just keeps getting better and better and better from the home office. So
that gives me goosebumps. Thank you so much for those words. We'll have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Wasn't that just so fun to hear from her? Love having the support of the home office really in everything we do. And if I can just tell you one thing, when you have an idea or a thought, send it to someone at the home office. Send it to me and say, hey, send this to who needs to see it at the home office, because they really do listen. And it's one thing that I've learned over the years. They really listen and they want to make what's best for us work. So anyway, All right, so I get to take a few minutes here and talk. Oh, wait. Kelly, I think we should do some prizes first. We need some prizes.
I didn't draw them yet. I was just going to.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I'll go ahead and go ahead, and then right after me, we'll do prizes. She's going to work on drawing those, so we can keep rolling through our agenda here, because we've got a few more things that are awesome to listen to. So I am going to talk about live cooking shows, those things that we did a while ago, a long time ago. I've done a lot of them, over 1,000 live cooking shows over the years. And can I tell you, I still love them. I come home just feeling energized. So try to think, for those of you, and I know there's a lot of you who have never done, maybe even been to a live cooking show, but I want you to think about it like this. Think about going to lunch with your girlfriends. Who enjoys going to lunch with friends? Raise your hand, let me see. Everybody loves going to lunch with friends. And that's what I think a cooking show is like. It's like getting together for your friends for lunch. And so I just want to encourage you, it's not rocket science. It's easy. So I have 5 tips. 5, that's not very many. 5 for having a successful cooking party. And I like to call them cooking parties because truly it is a party. It's a party for the host, for me, for the guests. It's so fun. So my 5 tips, because I love cooking shows, and I would love to have all of you try one. You'll be surprised. They're really fun. I love getting the phone call from a virtual consultant that says, "Hey, Pauline, I tried a live cooking show. Yeah, how did it go?" It was so fun. I mean, I hear it all the time. It really is fun. So I'm going to run through the 5, and then I'm going to go back and just kind of expound a little bit. First of all, host coaching. You've heard it for virtuals. You've heard it for 15-minute. You've heard it for cooking shows. When my cooking show average starts dropping, or I start not having as many people, I can always take it back to my host coaching. I didn't do as well as I should have. So number 1 is host coaching. I'll give you a couple tips on that. Number 2 is your choice of recipes. It does make a difference what recipe you do. So we're going to talk about how to choose a recipe. Number 3, getting together with friends is all about the friendliness. And so there's some things you can do in person that make a big difference. And I'm learning how to do all these things virtually, but I might have some tips for you on how to do them in person. And then 4 is how to get bookings. How do you get bookings? And then 5 is simple. You close within 24 hours of your live cooking party. So back to number 1, host coaching. Super important to give your host what the expectations are for inviting. And for my hosts, as many times as I can say, I say to them, it's super important to invite 40 to 60 people, so we have 15 to 20 at your party. I try to say 15 to 20 at least 50 times when I'm talking to my hosts, whether it's on text, on Messenger, in person, on a phone call. I want to have the expectations that a party is 15 to 20 people. This is what hosts think. They think they're going to invite 40 people and 40 people are going to show up. And so they're worried about the size of their house, how much food, they're worried about all those things. But there's a couple of words that I use, or phrases that I use with my host to let them know how important this is. First of all, I say, super important for you to invite 40 to 60 people. The reason why is because we can never pick a night that's good for everyone. I don't want you to think that your guests don't, or your friends don't want to come. It's just that people are so busy. And I think what that says to them is, it's not that they don't want to come, because they're thinking, okay, I'm going to invite 40 people and 2 are going to come. Why are you telling me this? My friends are better than that. But I just want to assure them that it's not because they don't want to come. It's because people are busy and we can't pick a night that's good for everyone. So I tell my host that it's not about you, it's about people's busy lives. So invite 40 to 60 people to come to your party. I do give my host option still to send out a postcard. people see things that come in the mail. They do. I also create invitations on Canva that they text. And so that I would say is the main way that my hosts are inviting is by text. And then if they want to create a Facebook group for my live parties, I usually don't, although you heard me talk about Stephanie last night. She's got a great combination of live and virtual that go really great together. But a lot of my hosts will create an event on Facebook. Also, I just don't let that be the only form of invitation, because sometimes hosts think they're going to invite everybody to this event and nobody really sees it. And so it's a terrible way to invite for most people. So I always make sure there's a text that goes out or a postcard in the mail to them. I contact my host 3 times. I really try to do this on the phone, and I know that's super old-fashioned, and it's getting harder and harder. But even if I can have one conversation with them on the phone, the conversation I usually have is 15 to 20 people there. And this is why I tell them that's important. I say, you know what, with 15 to 20 people there, nobody feels pressured to buy anything. All they do is they come, it's a party atmosphere, everybody enjoys it, and I don't want any of your friends to feel pressured. So it's really important to me to have 15 to 20 people there so that nobody feels pressured to buy, they just come and enjoy. Now, of course, very few people don't buy, but it really makes a huge difference. If there's 4 people sitting in the room, people are sitting around here going, oh my gosh, there's only 4 of us, I'm gonna have to buy a ton just so my host can get her rewards. It's just nice to not have that even be cross people's minds. And so when I explain that to my host, just in those words that I told you, it really helps them realize how important it is to have 15 to 20 people there. I also make sure that that first contact is mostly about invitations, how to send them out, and how many, and that kind of thing. The second contact I would have with her is probably about a week before her party, and that is about the host bonuses, what she can get, what she wants, and then are the invitations sent out. Because when you have a show cancel, it's because she didn't get time to get her invitations out. And at a week before, we can still get the invitations out, especially with text, we can still get those out, we can still do it. And then the last contact or host coaching contact with her I have is a couple days before the party. And I express to her how important it is to do reminders, always, well, almost always now by text, because it's just so easy to send a reminder the day before, the morning of the party, because people are busy. That reminder is so, so, so important. And she needs to do that if we're going to have people there. So that's kind of how I work through with my host. Recipe choices. I try to do, I know this sounds funny at a cooking show, I try to do non-cook recipes. I know, go figure. My very favorite ones are salads. I love doing salads because that way I can keep the party short, but they show a ton of products. I don't do things that have to cook for a long time. The new blender is fantastic for things like the dressings for the salad, or you can do a smoothie, things like that. But I try to do things that don't have to cook in the oven or even on the stovetop. I try to do non-cook recipes, and there's a lot of them out there that are wonderful. And so it just, for me, it simplifies everything at the party if I can do simple non-cook recipes. All right, I know that's really funny at a cooking show. When I was writing that, I'm like, oh, that's funny. All right, I always offer a B recipe or a dessert. If she has 15 confirmed guests, then I'll bring stuff for a dessert. And that I usually do like a upside down cake in the oven. I just put it in before anybody ever gets there and take it out and show them the amazing cookware and my very favorite product ever, and that's the skillet. Let's see. So the other thing with the recipe is choose something that highlights next month's host special, because that's the biggest thing you can do for bookings. So for this month, for instance, February is the rock crock. So if I make a tortilla soup, maybe something simple in a rock crock where you do the pasta in the microwave, perhaps. If you can use the rock crock, then you say, I know you guys all want this. I just want to mention to you that next month, if you book a party, you can get it at 60% off. It's probably the biggest thing I do to get bookings is make sure the recipe I'm doing is highlighting one of the host specials for the following month. And then I always sit down and look at what tools I'll use for whatever recipe I want to do. And I'll write out the products, or, you know, sum up the products that I'll be showing to make that recipe. That recipe must show $300 to $500 worth of products. I call that the price of the recipe, the price of the products it would take, the amount to make that recipe. So I call that the recipe price, and I make sure it's $300 to $500 at least. There's many of them that'll show nearly $1,000 worth of products, simple recipes, again, showing the power tools. So many things are the same with virtual shows as cooking shows. The friendliness, okay? When I walk in someone's house, I always find something to compliment. And generally, it's not very hard. Sometimes you have to kind of look, but generally, just that compliment on their home, their family picture, whatever it is in their house, compliment them on it. When I get the guests in front of me, thank them for the time that they spent to come here, ask them how they know the host. Same things we do on virtual parties, except for an in-home. It's important to do those same things when you are in the home at a live cooking party. I always have usually the past host that she booked from is there. I have her talk about what she got for free at her party. So tell me about how you're loving the products you got. Tell these guys what you got at your party. That's one of the biggest things also that I do for bookings is I let the host, the past host, tell about her product. So I always do that. The other thing is for friendliness, I just really try to one question I love to ask is when they're checking out, tell me your story. Everybody has a story. I love that line, whether it's sitting beside someone on an airplane, sitting beside someone doing their order. Tell me your story. And they'll always come up with something. Either they're a busy soccer mom, or we're really worried about so-and-so in our family that has this issue. It really opens the door, and it helps connect that when you say, thank you so much for coming. I don't think I know you. Tell me your story. And it's really fun to hear what people will say about that. Okay, bookings. I already told you the recipe gets bookings, making sure you use the next month's featured product for the hosts. Also the past hosts, letting them talk about it. The other thing that I think for bookings is just to have fun. If this truly is a party, somebody in that room is going to want to have a party too. And so the more I focus on it and say, this is what you get, this is what you have to do, the less bookings I get. When I go in and have a fun time and learn about these people, hear their stories, cook them some yummy food, that's when there's lots of bookings. One thing I always use is the door prize drawing slips. And sometimes I'll have them, before they fill it out, turn it over on the back and have them write one friend that's not there tonight that they think would love getting together to cook a recipe. One thing that they would love to have in their kitchen that they're not going to buy that night. And then if they love savory or sweet recipes better, I have them write those three things on the back of their door prize drawing slip. Then I have them turn it over and fill it out. And the first thing on their mind is bookings. And the great thing about that is when they get to the question, do you want to book a show, which is the first question, or would you like to earn products? It doesn't say, do you want to book a show, but they're thinking, okay, so-and-so is not here tonight, and I'm not getting this. I would like to get it at a discount. And I think I'd love to try that recipe that she was talking about, that she painted the picture of when she was doing this recipe that she's doing tonight, because I always try to talk about a great recipe I'm going to be doing at future parties. So that helps with the bookings on the door prize drawing slip. And that was the other thing I had, is to talk about recipes. Paint a picture about a yummy recipe you're going to be making at your future shows, because people will book a party to have that recipe. I'm like, I don't know who's going to have, I'll say this at a show, I don't know who's going to have the next party, but when you do, this is a recipe that I think you guys are going to love. And you just talk about baked Alaska, or a tuxedo brownie. Oh my gosh, they are so yummy. And I love doing them at parties. I bake that one before I go, the brownie cups. But anyway, people love that. They love new recipes. And if you talk about one, somebody will book a party so you can make that for them all. And then the last thing, close within 24 hours. just tell the host, hey, we're going to close tomorrow afternoon. So be sure and check with people that weren't here, that said they were going to come, people you invited that didn't come. Check with them tonight or first thing in the morning, and let's get this wrapped up, because the host is going to do that while she's excited. She's not, if the longer they wait, the less the excitement is and the less orders come in. I promise you that if you want the orders to come in, close within 24 hours, because the host will be still excited about the show when she's making those phone calls. If you say, we're going to close, today's Tuesday, we're going to close next Tuesday, she'll say, oh, I have clear till next Monday night to make the phone calls. And that's exactly what she'll do. And then her excitement is gone. So close within 24 hours. All right. See, a live cooking show is easy. The actual show part, you can do it a million different ways. You can show them how to put together a recipe. You can give everybody, you know, somebody gets the grater and the cheese, somebody gets the knife and the onion, or the chopper and the onions, somebody gets the cookware, the grill pan to do the chicken for the salad, somebody gets the salad spinner. You can do it that way. I mean, there's so many different ways. It's just getting people together, connecting, cooking and eating together. There's nothing like it. It's just so fun. So I would love to encourage you to all try a live cooking show. They are super fun. And you have to admit, the company says cooking show averages are higher. I would love, I love going out and doing live cooking shows. Now, I do love the block party because it kind of makes that an even playing field as far as show averages, but love doing a cooking show live, and it's really fun to get together with friends. So just some tips if you want to give that a try. All right, Kelly, do you have some winners for us?
I do. Okay, do you want me to announce the grand prize winner, or should we wait till the end to announce that one?
Let's just go ahead and do it all while we're doing it right now.
Okay. All right, prize hat is going on. Wahoo. All right, so our last three winners of the prizes, reusable wine bag. We have Katie Chamberlain on the Lewandowski team that won that. Second person to register. And then next we have the Quick Shred, and Kenja Joe Webb on the church team, on my team, won that. She was 134th to register. And then our grand prize drawing, Pauline, do you have that handy where you can show them what they won for the grand prize drawing? It's so cool. It is awesome. Okay.
This is like a thermal bag. So it's for like a picnic bag. It has two zippers on the top. It's got a strap for carrying over your shoulder. Got Pampered Chef.
When you have to bring, it's great for when you have to bring snacks for kids' activities too. It's so awesome. I use mine all the time. Okay, so the grand prize drawing winner that's going to win that, Krisha Campbell, who is on the Lewandowski team. So we are so excited for all of our winners. And as Pauline said, we'll have a couple more prizes that are announced after the retreat is done with bookings and stuff like that.
Very good. Thank you so much, Kelly. Love it. Okay, so don't leave because we've got some great things. Let me just tell you, we are going to have right now, Chris Black is going to do a little testimonial on how Pampered Chef has changed her life. We heard it from Katie that really when you recruit, you have to think about how Pampered Chef could make a difference in their life. Well, she's going to tell us how it's made a difference in her life. We're going to do a little bit more on host coaching because it's everything. It is the game changer, whether it's virtual or live, and then a fast track director. So those are the three things we're still going to do. And I've got a little something up my sleeve for the close. So let's see, Kelly, will you go ahead and introduce Chris for us?
Yes, so Chris Black joined the end of January, so it's January, this is her year, month, end of January last year in 2019, and she'll tell you she got a little bit of a slower start, and then when we had the free-for-all that started happening in May and June, she really kickstarted her business, started visualizing, and had her first $3,000 month in May, and then has been unstoppable since then. 2019. She has a total of 12 team members now. She's been recruiting 9 personal and 3 indirect recruits from her team. She has over almost 30,000 in sales last year, basically May to December. And she also earned a trip to Disney. She's truly inspiring. She's given multiple training segments on our team, and our team loves her. So I'll let her take it away and tell a little bit more about how Pampered Chef has changed her life.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Kelly. And thank you guys for having me speak. I feel super humbled. I just figured out all day, I'm the baby director that's speaking. So, that's, yeah, I'm not the youngest almost anywhere. So that's kind of a nice thing for me. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story. So I taught 3rd grade for 25 years, and I love the kids every single day. Well, most days. And it was really my dream job. So I think my first probably 10 years were absolutely amazing and wonderful. And then a lot of things changed. And I guess, you know, it's like that really with any job, though. You have your good days and you have your bad days. But I just need to tell you that really the last 13 years that I taught were pretty unbearable. You know, I think, you know, and the thing is, I'm not the same person I was even a year ago. This has been an amazing journey. But at the time, I felt very unappreciated. I'm in my last 10 years before I retire, and I was no longer the youngest person in the room or the cutest person in the room. I definitely don't feel like, not just me, but really anybody got any recognition. You know, teaching, you wouldn't think, is a very competitive profession, and it's not popular to give teachers a lot of kudos because others will not like that. So, and you know, the recognition I feel like I did get felt fake to me. It was like words on a page, but it wasn't anything that was shown to me like every day, or even in private. You know, after a while, I wasn't really asked to contribute. I just didn't feel like anyone saw me anymore. I mean, my kids, my students, and that was great, but it would be nice to have an adult say something to you that made a difference in your life. And honestly, by the time I retired, I felt very deflated and hopeless. I was super depressed. And I remember getting up in the morning and crying to my husband, I don't want to go to work. And sometimes even in the car, trying to get the courage to walk in the building. And, you know, a lot of it was that, you know, and this is not just about teaching. This is about a lot of places people work. And the more that I listen, the more that I hear, I was certainly not the only one this happens to. You know, at work, I felt like I was bullied, and by administration. And, you know, literally, if there are stories I could tell you that would raise your hair. But, you know, I think a lot of us felt abused. And I think to a certain degree, I left feeling like I had a little bit of PTSD, and I don't throw that around lightly. But in the end, I felt like I had nothing left to give. My self-esteem was in the basement. It was the worst I'd ever had. And I felt super irrelevant. Like there wasn't anything left for me. I was honestly in a really dark place, and I was struggling. But I retired at the first chance I could, and I was lucky that was an option for me. And that's, I guess, how Kelly found me. So I went to my sister's party, and Kelly, you know, showed me how fun, it was a virtual party actually, but she still just showed me how fun that it could be and how it looked so easy to do. I thought, you know, I was looking for something to, you know, supplement my income. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. And, you know, it wasn't, I didn't get a discount for my kid or anything, but I thought, why not? You know, I love the products, and I'll get those if nothing else. So I'll give it a shot. And like she said, I did have kind of a slow start, but honestly, I remember looking at those promos that said, Pampered Chef saved my life, or how Pampered Chef made a difference in my life. And honestly, I thought, please, it's just a company. I mean, how can that possibly change your life? But I was a lot less positive then, and a lot more jaded than I am now. And through, you know, my experience with Kelly training me, she super inspired me. And she's so positive and so much fun, and she loved it so much, and I started to love it so much. And you know, she talked about visualization, which I have a super powerful story about that, but this isn't the time for it. But positivity and visualization definitely changed my career in Pampered Chef. So along all that, I started soaking it all in. I was kind of a lurker in our team page, but I saw how people loved each other, and I saw how they shared their life with each other. And as I started to grow a little bit, do a little more parties, I noticed something different about myself. I really started to grow as a person and as a consultant and eventually as a leader. I just felt myself blossoming, and I was more positive. I was more productive, not just in Pampered Chef, but in my life. Things were changing, and I was frankly kind of surprised that something that I thought was just fun to do and that I thought I was pretty good at could make such a difference in my life. I felt myself shine. And in October, I'm an emotional person. Actually, this is an emotional story for me, so sorry. In October, when they offered the $39 kit, I shared the business with everyone, and I recruited 10 people that month. And well, it was partly mine and partly my recruits too. But when I went to the opportunity event that month, somebody reached out to me and said she wanted to friend me, and I friended her. And she said, I just want to tell you, she said, I've been following you for a while, which shocked me. I don't think anybody pays attention to what I do. But she said, I just wanted to tell you, you inspire me to do better and be better. And honestly, that was a pivotal moment in my life. I thought, I didn't know anybody was watching me. And so, like, who knows who is watching? Who's watching any of us? And the power in that was who we influence. What we're doing out in that world is influencing other people. And I really love what Pauline has on her front page of her group. It's a quote by John Maxwell that says, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. And to me, that's the most powerful thing that has happened to me with Pampered Chef. The fact that I have positively influenced other people. And, you know, honestly, I feel like around that time, I could see the me that I used to be, the me that I haven't seen for over a decade. And I remembered who I really am and who I was really meant to be. And it was, I keep remembering that I look back at those videos about how Pampered Chef changed your life. Life changing? Yeah, it is for me. It's not a joke. So, my takeaway is something I really thought about after Kim spoke. She said, people's lives are at stake, and she's right. It's not about selling, or it's not just about even making meal times better for people. It's about building each other up. It's about, and I feel like every single one of us has an obligation to share this with people. I don't know how many people I know that are suffering in their work and they don't have a choice not to work. I'm lucky because I get to do this every single day, and I am such a happier person for it. But we need to share the love with everybody, because we don't know who's out there feeling the way I used to feel. And we're so gifted to have Pampered Chef. We need to spread the joy. We need to talk about the biz. And yeah, I guess at first, I feel like it is my obligation to share because people are suffering, but it's also a challenge, and honestly, it's my pleasure because I want somebody to have what I found. Thank God. I don't know where I'd be if it weren't for Pampered Chef.
Thank you so much, Chris. You are amazing. Okay, so that's making me cry.
I saw a few tears. Thank you. I don't feel so alone. I feel like a blubbering idiot.
No, thank you for being vulnerable and opening yourself up to tell us how Pampered Chef has changed your life. I've seen it many times over the 26 years that I've been in here, and it's what makes me continue to reach out to people and share what we have with them. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. We're scheduled. We're going to be going about 15 minutes over. I hope it's okay with you guys. Sorry if you have to run, but we're getting close though. So Kelly right now is going to give us her best host coaching tips. And we can't not have this segment because it is the game changer. It's what makes a difference whether you're doing whatever kind of party. So Kelly, go ahead.
Okay. So I'll post my notes in the group as well, because I know we don't have time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, definitely post it in the group, and I'd be happy to answer any. Okay, so what I would love to share with you guys on host coaching is, first of all, I'm going to give you what works for me, but definitely keep in mind that host coaching works in many different ways. You can do a group message like Cami talked about, which I've done and continue to do. You can also do individual messages with your hosts, which also works well, and I continue to do that. You can also do a call with your host, like Pauline said. Don't be afraid. I know we do a lot of our vision or our business virtually, but don't be afraid. Once someone books a show with you, they don't mind talking to you for a couple of minutes on how to make their show successful. And I would always message my host, hey, if you have 10 minutes to chat, I just want to share some of my best virtual show tips with you before their parties. And I promise you, that is a reason why I have less flops and why my virtual show average is almost $600. And I want to get it even higher. But I want you guys to keep that in mind, is it's all from host coaching. So here's some of my best tips in no specific order. First of all, I ask my hosts if they want a host packet, and I would say probably 80% of them still do. And so then I'll send them a host packet, and in the host packet, it includes a host letter, 2 to 3 catalogs. I'll ask them how many they'd like, and an opportunity brochure. That's it. It's very, very simple. However, I feel like when hosts get a host packet, they get excited for their show. They look through the catalog. I tell them to flag pages. It helps get them excited for the actual show when they get that from you a week or 2 in advance before their party starts. I find that they're less likely to cancel when they get a host packet early. It also shows that you're on top of it and responsible when you send the host packet out, when you say you're going to send it out. So if I tell my host your host packet is on its way, or I'll send it to you a week before the show starts, I do that. My second tip is I just know that anytime you do virtual shows, whether you're Cami Cruz or whether you're Kelly Church, you will have shows that flop. That is part of doing virtual shows and in-person shows. I've done in-person shows where not one single person showed up, and I've done virtual shows that flop too. That is part of the business. However, when you do virtual show block parties or when you do in-person, you account for the shows that flop. So just know if you have a show that flops every once in a while, that is normal. And what I found is when you're doing 4 or more a week virtually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if a show flops because you'll have other shows that do well and you'll have one outstanding show that has great sales. So just know that that's normal. If you have more than one virtual show flop that's happening a week, talk with your upline director to see if you can pinpoint the reason. Is your host not inviting enough people? Is the host not engaged? Maybe it's, maybe you're not doing host coaching. Talk to your upline and see if you can figure out maybe, and pinpoint some things that maybe you could do a better job on to combat those flops. Because it really shouldn't be more than like 1 a week if you're doing 4 or more shows a week. Okay, so a flop every once in a while is normal. Okay, so some of the other tips. Have your host post one post a day. And these are, my personal opinion is these are not Pampered Chef posts. These are engagement posts. They have nothing to do with Pampered Chef. Are you a dog person or a cat person? Post a photo of your pet. Are you a, what is your favorite marshmallow? Charcoal burns down to a plane. These are posts that people just engage in. They have nothing to do with Pampered Chef and rarely anything to do with cooking. It's to get people active and engaged on the group. And so if you're doing a block party, like Cami says, I assign it per day, a couple a day, just in case, you have someone that kind of backs out and doesn't do it that day. Or if you're doing individual parties, have your host do one a day. The posts that they're getting for this, I'll talk about in a minute. So where they're getting these interactive posts. All right, so in regards to recruiting, because of course that's part of host coaching, you want to ask your host 4 to 5 times about the business. And I know that sounds like a lot, or not ask, I should say mention and ask. It's a combination of both mentioning the business and asking them about the business. And so the 4 or 5 times that I use personally, I send an email out in my for my shows, and the email includes the attachment. So the host special, the guest special, the recruiting special, and an outside order form. I send all 4 of those in an email so that I don't have to print them, and it costs less money. It makes my host packets really light, and it doesn't waste any printer ink. So I email that to them, and in the email, I have options about the business. This might be the furthest thing from your mind, but here's the business special. We have an amazing cooking blender kit that's available for January only, that kind of stuff in my email. I also include it in the host packet. As I said, I include a opportunity brochure in my host packet. That's hearing about the business. I also include 3 messages. And I love the phrase. This is a phrase I use all the time and teach my team members to use. This might be the furthest thing from your mind, but, and then you can talk about the business. That's one of the messages that I send. I usually do that on day 3. You are doing so, this is another day. You are doing so awesome, Karen. You invited so many people to the show, or your engagement posts that you've been thinking of yourself are amazing. I love how Jen Lewandowski said, fluff their feathers. I was already doing that, but that visualizing that word is the perfect way to describe it. You compliment them on something that they're doing well, and then tell them that they'd be so good at this business. That's another message that I send them personally. Then at the end of their show, I say, you're at 400 in sales or whatever they're at. You have enough for a kit credit, either $25 or $50. Is this something that you've thought about doing? You can get your starter kit for only $59 or whatever they're at. Then I do a quick call before I close, and it's 5 minutes to go over where guests are shipping. I think that's very important because some guests will ship to the host when they don't live by the host, and I've caught multiple mistakes when I go over this 5-minute phone call with my host. And I always ask on the phone call, hey, I just want to make sure before we close that you don't want to use a kit credit for your, for your shows. I am mentioning it to my host multiple times so they know about the business and they know that option that they have to take advantage of. Okay, so last 3 tips. If your host isn't engaged, your guests will not be engaged either. If you're having flop shows, you have to get your host engaged. So a couple ways to do this. Show them a good example of a virtual party and a flop example of a virtual party. And after they quickly scroll through, I say quickly scroll through, should take less than 5 minutes, ask them what they noticed about the differences in the show, and then ask them which host they would like to be. Everyone wants to be the good virtual show host, and this lets them know what hosts did to be good hosts. It's a great way to get them engaged and to get them committed to doing your tips before you even send a tip out. I usually do that about a week before their party. If your host is engaged or isn't inviting enough people, show them what they can do to change that. If they didn't invite enough people, if they only invited 50, say, hey, but do this in a positive, nice way. Hey, 50 is a great start. I found that usually 2 more groups of 50, I love how Cami said that, I'm going to change that right away, instead of 100 more people. I found that when you take 2 more groups of 50 and add them to the group, or 3 more groups of 50, you're going to really get the results that you want from the show, and you'll have a better chance of having $1,000 party. I keep saying that over and over to my hosts because that's what I want them to aim for. I want them to aim for $1,000 show. And so I'll give them tips on what they can do differently to fix that. You know, if they're not having a lot of engagement posts in their show, I'll say, hey, you know, you are doing awesome at being engaged, but let's try and get some more of your guests to be engaged. Let's try tagging a couple of them in the fun game posts each day. You know, I'll notice in the party what isn't happening, and then I'll give my host the tips on how to do that. So don't be afraid to tell your host what she needs to do to change or tweak what she's doing to have a better show. Okay, so I use a host coaching system that I passed along to my team. I'd be happy to share it with you guys in the files section of the group. And it's really easy because it's a system for the daily messages. So you can just copy and paste from your computer. And then we also have a host group on our team that we've switched to having one host group at all times. You can add hosts in there each month and then take your hosts out when their show is done. You can tag your hosts in fun posts, interactive ones that they can post each day. And it's a great way for our new consultants to see some fun, engaging posts that our hosts can use. And you can find these on Pinterest. You can find these in the virtual show games that Pampered Chef has, the group on Facebook. There's lots of ways that you can find these posts to use for your host. Okay, and then if your host is like MIA, so we're not talking if they've added a few, 50 people to the group, or if they're, semi-engaged. If they're missing in action, do not be afraid to say, hey, Susie, it looks like you haven't had a chance to invite to your show yet. Would it be better for you if we pushed it back a week, or if we pushed it back a couple of weeks? Don't be afraid to take charge of your business and to reschedule someone that is not engaged. Do not do a show with someone that is not inviting or adding enough people to the group. Don't be afraid to give them that out of rescheduling, because I've found when I do that, sometimes changing it to a week later will make all the difference in the world, and they'll have time to do the inviting tips that I send. So anyway, those are the main host coaching tips that I wrote down. I'll share my documents in the group, and we can move on to our last testimonial. I'll look too if there's any questions in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. It's all about host coaching. It truly is. Some really great tips there. I love the fluff their feathers too. Love that. Okay, so now we're going to hear, because I really saw my business step up big time when I became a director. And I think most of the directors would hear that. That's when I became a director, that's when I started making a paycheck over $1,000 always, consistently. And so I am thrilled with how fast people are becoming directors now. And Stacia is not kidding. There is a lot of it happening. Don't believe that it's not possible. It is. When I promoted to director, so this tells you kind of a blast from the past. You could not promote to director until you had been in the business for 6 months. That was like written in our policy guide. So boy, have things changed. I love, love, love that so many of these new excited consultants are promoting so quickly to director. It is fantastic. It is so, so good. So we're going to hear now from a fast track director. Now, some of you are thinking, oh, I should have taken advantage of that. Well, let me tell you, you still can. Choose your 90 days. Start today and say, okay, 90 days from now, I'm going to be a director. Give yourself a goal to be a director by conference. I know several of the directors in this group are starting new Step Up to Director, or whatever we're calling it, a program to help you promote to director. And you can choose your own 90 days. And will the home office send you cash? No. Will you get all the other rewards? Yes. So this is Stephanie Cunningham. And she is from the northern panhandle of Idaho, clear up north, close to Canada again. She's been with Pampered Chef for 5.5 months. And she was a fast track director. And she loves just thinking creatively, thinking outside the box, new ways to do things. And something really fun about her, this shows you what a big heart she has. She has hosted 13 foreign exchange students from 5 different countries over the past 9 years. Isn't that so fun? All right, I love that. So Stephanie, I'm going to let you just tell us a little bit about how you promoted to director on the fast track. There we go. I knew she was here. I saw her.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm at a very large, my very first event actually. It's the biggest bridal fair in the Pacific Northwest. So I stepped outside. So you might hear some traffic. I apologize. But thank you again. My name is Stephanie Cunnington, and I'm just going to keep it short and sweet since I know we're at the end and we're over time. But yes, I've been asked to talk a little bit about my experience fast tracking to director and what it's done for me. Like Pauline said, I started my journey with Pampered Chef back in August of 2019. And I didn't wait for my kit before I scheduled my first 2 parties as well as my launch party. I thought, I'm already going to be a virtual consultant. I really don't need the product for that. I'm really not huge on going live. Right now, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. So I didn't need to wait for anything to get started. I joined the Success in 6 Weeks program right away. Luckily for me, it was offered right away. And I love the accountability of the program. It kept me focused, taught me to learn to celebrate the no's because they brought me just that much closer to the yeses. And most importantly, I reminded myself not to decide for others. So I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I know I make is I will just decide something for somebody else and take that choice away from them. Like, oh, they're too busy. It's not the right time. I don't want to bother them. But I don't like it when people decide for me. So I chose not to decide for other people and to just ask consistently, not only for hosting, but also for joining my team. And so by doing that consistently and asking and talking to everybody, and with the help of course, a $39 kit in October, I was able to recruit 10 people in October alone, and that was the month that I promoted to director. I also warned my hostesses that I would not only be asking them once if they wanted to join my team, but at least 3 times at the very beginning, because if they said yes, and of course I would make it their launch party, they should reap the benefits of that. I would definitely not want to take that away from them. Once during the party, and for sure once at the end, just like Kelly had said, with host coaching, making sure that they could use those kit credits and not let those go to waste if it was something that they wanted. I got 2 team members at least by doing that, because there was 2 no's, and by the 3rd time I had asked, they were like, well, actually, yes. And one of them is already has 3 team members under her. So I'm working towards my next goal of advanced director by conference, just by being consistent and not deciding for other people. Promoting to director has not only enriched my life financially, but it's also provided me with a platform to empower others to change their own lives as well, which is really important to me. I don't host exchange students anymore after a baker's dozen. I'm done. Now I travel to see them in their countries. So Pampered Chef has helped me to be able to travel to Europe to go see them already, and just opened up worlds of possibilities for me that I didn't think were possible before. So I'm very grateful and excited to see where my journey goes from here.
Oh my goodness, that was so fantastic. I can see why you're so successful. And did you hear how simple she makes that? One thing that she said is she doesn't make decisions for people. And I love that, because you know what? If you don't ask, the answer is always no. Do you guys get that? If you don't ask, the answer is always 100% of the time no. And my kids will tell you over and over and over again, because I tell them all no means is nothing's changed. You know, if they're not hosting a party for you now and you don't ask, they're still not hosting a party for you. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for sharing with us and for sharing your how you were able to jump in and just do it. There's so many ways to do a Pampered Chef party now. You can jump in and do it however you want, and it's great, because then that's you. It makes it feel like it's you. All right, here we are at the end. Thank you so much. So I have a couple of definite thank yous. First of all, Jen and Kelly helped so much with putting this together, and I know Jen has only been able to pop in because she's at the funeral, but they really helped a lot. All of the directors made a big effort to make sure their teams knew about it and came to the retreat. Thank you. It takes time and it takes work to put on these things, and thank you so much for helping with that. Mostly though, thank you for joining us. There are a million things that all of us could have been doing today, but you made the decision to be here and to learn how to make your business better. Thank you. Thank you for making that choice to be here with us today. So if you think this was fun, I just have to put a plug in here for national conference. My very first national conference I went to, my big aha was, oh my gosh, look at all these people. They're all different. Some of them are skinny, some of them are not so skinny, some of them are old, some of them are young, some of them are male, some of them are female, some of them love to cook, some of them hate to cook, and they're all here. There were so many different kinds of people there, and it made me realize that so many different kinds of people make this fit into their lives. They make successful businesses out of Pampered Chef. There's not just a Pampered Chef mold. There's not just one kind of person who is successful with Pampered Chef. So I really want to encourage you to come to National Conference. See that for yourself. Hear from the very best. If you think we heard from the best here, well, we did hear actually from the best. But there's so many more people in the company that you will hear from, other leaders in the company that you will hear so many great things from. All right, the last thing I have to tell you is this. You ask yourself, so you saw Cami, you saw Katie, you've seen Kelly and Jen, and you know they're super successful women in the business. I want you to ask yourself, why not me? Why not now? Why can't I do what they're doing? And I'm here to tell you, you can. Everybody can be successful to whatever level they want to be, or to levels that they've never imagined through Pampered Chef. I had no idea when I started 26 years ago this week that I would be an executive director. I've been an executive director now for 23 of those years, and I had no idea the success that could come. But you have to choose to do it. None of these things work that we've talked about unless we work. We have to do it. We can't just hear it and it happens. We have to do it. So I want you to think about seeing clearly what you want to do. And I think this is a perfect thought since we've just entered into 2020. I want you to think about having 2020 vision. It's really clear, it's crisp, you see exactly what you need to see. And I want to read you a quote. Oops, I grabbed the wrong book. Oh, here it is right here. This is from John Maxwell. Love it. And he says, only those who see their dreams are able to seize their dreams. So the first part of seeing your dream, of obtaining your dream, is to see it clearly. That means to set a goal, to decide what you're going to do. A couple of other things he says in the same chapter is, if you cannot accomplish a dream, you will be able to do it. Sorry, let me start over. If you want to accomplish a dream, you will be able to do so only when you can see it clearly. Really important. And then he says, if you want to achieve your dreams, you need to bring it into focus. So what I want you to do is think about one thing from this, multitude of ideas that we've gotten today and yesterday. One thing you're going to start with and do. I have one more prize. So I'm going to put a post in our retreat group about this, and I want you to comment, and I'm going to choose one person from all of the comments to receive this prize. This is my favorite. I have a little stash of these, but this is my very favorite Pampered Chef bag. Can you guys see it? It's big, and it's canvas, and it's got really sturdy handles, and I love it because the logo is so big. There we go. All right, you guys can see how big it is. All right, it's my very favorite Pampered Chef bag, and I'm going to give one to someone who posts the one thing they're going to start with on the post in our group. So because you have to choose to start somewhere. You have to do something, but I want you to remember, why not me? Why not now? So just to end this, 26 years ago, I started this business. I had no idea that it would be the avenue that would make it so that we could pay off our home. We paid off our home in 7 years after I started my business, or after we bought this house, which was about 2 years after I started the business. You can't believe how good that feels to be debt-free. That was a dream that my husband definitely had, that I had, and Pampered Chef enabled us to do that. It's allowed, like my son, he's off skiing this morning. He was so excited when he woke up and there was fresh powder because as you saw our picture, maybe you didn't on the group, my kids love to ski. They love it. And Pampered Chef has been the avenue that has made it so that we could buy them a season's pass every year. Plus we go on a couple of ski vacations. Those things are because of Pampered Chef. The freedom, the ability that I've had to be home with my kids. I have 6 children, and the ability for me to be able to be home with them every day when they get home from school, that is priceless to me. Those are things that nobody ever told me was possible when I started my Pampered Chef business 26 years ago. It's really given me financial stability. It's given us freedom to do things and time with our family. Those things have all been afforded to us because of my Pampered Chef business. It's really allowed me to live more the things that I want to do. Over the next few days, you're gonna see my team pages all change the name to Live More. And this is what I want that to mean to you. I want you to live more in balance. I want you to live more in focus and more in success. Because I believe that that's what Pampered Chef can give to us. It can give us more balance, more focus, and more success in our lives, whatever piece. And the balance has been huge. The balance that Pampered Chef has given me to be able to earn a good income and still balance that with my family, I believe there's really no place else I could have gotten such a great blessing. So you'll see that change, and I want you to encourage you to live your dream, to live in balance, to live in focus, to live in success through Pampered Chef. And go forward and live your dreams. And I can't wait to see all of you at conference in July. Woo! Thanks for coming. Love it. Love you. Thanks for joining us.